Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. If you're new here, my name is Elena. I'm the homeschooling mama to 3 kiddos. Here on the channel, we talk about everything from homeschooling to homemaking, all the things in between. Today, we're going to talk about some goals, specifically my December goals, and wrap up really quick how November went. So typically, I like to make goals in a couple of different areas of our life, those being faith. So morning time, things that have to do with my faith journey is kind of what I call it, but you can call it whatever it is for you. I also set up some in our finances, fitness, and homeschooling, and I just tacked on like video creating and that kind of content creating, that sort of thing. I can't find a catchy title to make it rhyme with the rest, or to, have a cool alliteration with the rest. So every month I come on here and I talk about my monthly goals, what I'm setting up for my monthly goals in each of those categories. And then I kind of just go throughout the month and try to get them accomplished. I like setting up monthly goals because it gives me a time frame of roughly about 30 days to work on smaller bite-sized things. Now, some months I can set out way too many goals and don't get any done. And I will typically come on and wrap up the month before. If you want to catch up on my goals list and see some of the things that I've done, I will list the playlist. I will list the playlist up for you in the cards if you want to see those. For November, I think that I did set up too many things in my faith category. I was giving myself a lot of options of things that I wanted to do. I wanted to create a better morning routine, a better quiet time with the Lord. And I just really, honestly, I kind of fell off all my goals for the month of November. And I'll get into that a little bit more about what I think maybe happened and what is like continually happening with me since we moved. So if you don't follow our channel and you want to, hit that subscribe button and then hit the notification so that you never miss any of our inspiration amongst the chaos. But if you did miss a few, we did move, and I was having a really hard time understanding why it was taking me so long to unpack and make our new place feel like home. Now, it does feel like home in the sense that my people are here, my little family is here, and it is home. It is where our stuff is. It is where, more importantly, like I said, my people are. But I'm having a really hard time getting it organized and creating systems and routines, new rhythms is what I like to call them, that work for us. And I did have to do a little bit of soul searching to figure out what was happening with me and why that was happening. And I think this kind of will tie in to my faith journey, because in my faith journey, I feel like it's where I dig in deeper with God and ask Him to reveal more of Himself to me, and also what He would have me do in different areas of our life. And so for November, I wanted to create a morning routine, a new kind of rhythm of our morning. I was giving myself options to either do my Bible study, or to journal, or to read a devotional, just something. And then I also wanted to continue on with trying to journal and just creating different ways for me to get that done. I did not create a different type of journal for me to get started with. I've been toying around with doing a guided journal and thinking that maybe some mornings having a prompt or a guide would give me a little push to start writing. And I just was struggling to get up early in the morning. And I have discovered that that has a lot to do with some of these roadblocks that I was experiencing that went hand in hand with not wanting to unpack. So stick with me here and I'll see if I can make this clearer than mud for you. I think what was happening with me is that the mental clutter I was having in my mind, as well as the physical clutter, were just creating this very combustive space for me. And I was having a really hard time figuring out where to start and dig myself out of this. I didn't, though, make the connection that both mentally and physically I was in clutter. And I know it can seem so simple, but when you're in the thick of things, sometimes it's hard to miss the obvious. And I wasn't I didn't want to see, or I couldn't see how these two related to one another and how that was contributing to making things so difficult for me, making it difficult for me to get up in the morning, making it difficult for me to find new rhythms and routines, because I wanted it all to be done at one time. And I have to take a step back and realize that that is not going to happen. I'm not going to get the home organized in a week. I'm not going to create brand new rhythms and routines for me and my kiddos and my husband all in the same week. It was not going to happen, all while still doing the daily things we have to do. We're still homeschooling. We are still needing to do laundry. We are still needing to eat, all these things. So for the month of December, I think my faith journey is going to look a little different in the sense that I'm tying it into more practical things. So I am wanting to journal. I did create some prompts, and I will hopefully share that video with you soon on how I'm setting up a creative journal for myself and getting back into that practice. And then also some things that I'm going to do to start getting myself up and out of bed at least 30 minutes before my kids wake up. I know that this is good for me, but I haven't prioritized it. So I'm going to implement a couple of things that I think might help me and motivate me to get up in the mornings. So that is going to be kind of fall under my faith umbrella, is going to be journaling and waking up before the kids. Now, I know that waking up before the kids is going to give me that time to either sit quietly with the Lord and invite him into my journaling space, and then also most of the time leads to me studying further in the scripture. So I'm not going to put on myself that that's the time I'm going to get my Bible study done. That's when I'm going to read all my devotionals. That's when I'm going to read from a nonfiction book. I'm not going to put all those things in my morning time. I'm just going to, for the month of December, concentrate on getting up earlier and getting into my journal. Now, like I said, it may lead to those other things, which would be great, but I don't want to put the pressure on me to say I need to check off all of these things. Let me know if that makes sense to you. Also, let me know if you have tips and tricks on how to get up earlier and what your morning staples are, because as I'm trying to create this new rhythm for me, I'd love to hear what works for you and maybe what doesn't. Now for our finances, I wanted to start using I actually have it next to me. I created a wallet binder for myself, and I have a video on this too if you'd like to see how I went about creating that and what all is in it. I even think I have an update of it. I will list that for you too. But this is essentially what is like a mini budget binder for us, if you will. It was just going to track our spending while we were out and about. I wanted to make sure that I was utilizing it more to its full capacity. I'd give myself maybe like a half point for this because I did use it more, but I still think there's improvement that could be had with it. So I'm going to continue to use it at the level I was using it at, but I also am prepping for next year and getting our big budget binder revamped and kind of reorganized for us so that it works for us in the stage of life that we're in right now. I haven't decided if I'm going to share that video with you. I have a really old video of our budget binder. Not too much has changed from that. I've already started reorganizing the budget binder. So for the month of December, I want to continue using our on-the-go one, as well as finish organizing and getting goals set up for the next year in our main home budget binder. So that is going to entail needing to sit down and have a budget meeting with my husband. And then I also want to start getting back on track with our budget meetings. So for our finances, that's all we're gonna do for the month of December, is continue on using the portable one and then start getting dates set up for budget meetings with my husband, as well as finish the organization for the budget binder. For my fitness goals in November, I wanted to say December, but in November I wanted to get back to strength training 3 times a week and drinking more water. Again, I'm probably gonna give myself like 1.5 points on this because I did start drinking more water, so yay me, but I did not work out 3 times a week with strength training. I was doing like maybe 1 to 2 times a week, which was more than the previous month, but still could be better. I think one of the things is that our basement is where we have our workout stuff, and it is extremely cold down there, so it was really hard for me to get motivated and get down there. I know working out in the cold could be super beneficial for you, But I also have asthma, so sometimes it can trigger that instead of being beneficial. So I have to take it slow and kind of just gauge where we're at. So there are things that we're looking at, trying to figure out if a heater is a possibility for down there, or if maybe just layering up is going to be the best bet for me. So I would like to, for December, continue on with exercising. I don't want to quit, but I also want to find some other options for the days that I feel like it's just too cold in the basement to work out. So the main goal will be to continue working out, but looking for different options of working out. So if that goes back to finding videos, if you have any other suggestions for indoor workouts that you can do, let me know down below. Either leave their channel name or something like that, or what you do in the comments below, so that I can be looking them up and just kind of getting an idea, because I think that's where I'm headed, is that the days where it's just too cold, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to work out upstairs. I think that there's going to be pros and cons to this. The pros, I think, is that my kiddos will be able to maybe try to do some of the workouts with me. Cons are that I actually really enjoy strength training. And so I am hoping that I don't get bored with the workouts, the main level workouts, and that I still continue to try on warmer days, or that we figure out a solution on, you know, either layering, like I said, or maybe getting a portable heater. I don't know if that will even work for that space, but to continue on in strength training. So we'll see how this works out. Everything I feel like for the month of December is going to be smaller chunks, because even when you don't plan for a busy December, like we're not traveling, we don't anticipate traveling, and we're not, it's just probably going to be my little family, but it still gets very busy and still feels very rushed, and I don't want that, because that has been one of the things that has been attributing to my, what I'm calling, I guess, my mental clutter, is this feeling of rush and go. I was having a really hard time keeping up this I'm behind. I was having a really hard time keeping up with that. I just constantly felt like I was behind, and yeah, and I was getting burnt out. Now for our homeschooling goals, what I wanted to get done for November was to start prepping our holiday homeschool and to finish unpacking. I'm going to just give myself 0 points in this area because I didn't prep holiday homeschool. We did start getting into a little bit of a rhythm. We started back up with my son. My oldest son and I have what we call Monday morning meetings and Friday recap meetings, and we've actually tossed in a Wednesday like mid-check meeting. On Wednesdays we check in, just make sure we're still on the right path, we haven't forgotten anything, if anything's popped up during the week, how is that going to look, and rearrange our schedules. And then on Fridays we kind of recap what worked throughout this week, what didn't, what can we improve on, what did we think was great. So we are getting better at that, which is great, because those are really helpful both to him and I. And then my littles, we've tweaked a little bit of our curriculum. Let me know if you want to know how we've changed our curriculum up, switching things up just slightly. Now, November, I did not finish unpacking. As you know, I explained earlier in the video, I really just thought I would be done by now, but I am not, and I'm learning to give myself grace with this. I in my mind had great expectations that we would be done unpacking. I mean, surely if we've been here, we could unpack in a month, but you know, I couldn't, and I didn't get it done. So I am setting up a soft game plan for that, which this has no category. This may fall into each one of our categories, but for the month of December, what I need to do is let my husband know on what weekends or what days I am looking for maybe just 1 hour of uninterrupted time that I can tackle one small project. Now, in my mind, what I was doing was saying I wanted to unpack the kitchen and get it reorganized, and I was just going to get that done during the week, one day of the week, or maybe two, while I homeschooled and made meals and all the things. And I was struggling because I kept tripping on everything. Now, it can be done. We have done it in the past where I was able to reorganize the kitchen in a couple of days during the week, but going back to see that I'm not able to do it in this season because I'm also battling other like mental clutter. So I just am not able to do that right now. So it's going to take a little bit more time for me to tackle a project like the kitchen. So I think what's going to be best is making it into bite-sized pieces. I am going to sit with my husband and my kids and just give them a heads up on the days that I'm like, here's today what I want to get done. I would really love on Fridays, when homeschool is a little bit more lax, to have 1 hour of less interrupted time. Because as a mom, it's kind of hard for me to get 0 interruption time. So less interruption time, where I'm going to give you guys 1 hour of either tablet time, or I'm going to give you 1 hour of outside in the backyard play if it's warm enough, something where they know this is the 1 hour that mommy's going to work on a project, and I would really, really appreciate your cooperation by doing another project on your own, whatever that is. What I was doing was just kind of setting them up and not saying that this was my goal. So they weren't in on the goal. They didn't know that I was trying to do it. Now, clearly they could see mom was working in the kitchen, but to them, especially the younger ones, it doesn't look any different than when mom's in the kitchen working on dinner. And it's okay to come up and talk to her or interrupt, or, you know, get something from the fridge or ask for something from the pantry. But when I was in the middle of reorganizing, because I think I had so much mental weight on my shoulders that it was enough to derail me from the whole project. I really hope this is making sense. Let me know if you're still with me. So the bite-sized pieces of unpacking the home is going to be voicing what I want to get done to my family. But unpacking and getting stuff organized in bite-sized pieces is going to be the overarching goal for December, probably going into January. I'm not going to put the pressure on myself to completely unpack and have everything in new organizations and new systems in 1 month, because being the month of December, I don't want to miss Advent. I don't want to miss the Christmas season. It is something that's very near and dear to me, and I've noticed the past few years I've let it take a back seat, and I'm a little sad about that. I'm a lot sad about it, but I don't want that to happen this year. So I still want to be able to enjoy the Christmas season with my family. Okay, that's it. That's where we're at with the goals. I know it felt like it was kind of all over, but if you stuck with me, give me a coffee emoji down below, because it shows you were caffeinated and had great listening ears on, because even I'm a tad confused if it made sense. Anyways, thanks so much for hanging out. And if you don't know, or if you just need to be reminded, may please be the one to tell you that you are deeply and truly loved and so, so appreciated. I really do appreciate you taking your time out and spending it here with me. Thank you so, so much for watching.